Hello, my name is Minister John O. Jones, and I thank you for taking a few minutes to look at this DVD. And as a minister, I travel around the country and I talk with other ministers, and we always talk about what are we going to do about jobs. Our people need more jobs. There are people being elected because they're promising jobs each and every month, each and every year. But I believe that we have a greater issue, and that is that we're actually shifting the age. We saw this 100 years ago when we shifted from the agricultural age to the industrial age. People went from the farm to the factory. So imagine if you're on the farm and you see an automobile come around the street. You know you have a structural and permanent decision to make. You're either going to continue to work the farm or you're going to change that tool you're using and make it into windshield wipers. But you do have to make a decision. We're now leaving the industrial age, and we've shifted through the information age, and I believe we've landed right into what is called the entrepreneurial age. We are leaving the W-2, and we're coming into a 1099. And the reason why that's happening is because jobs are disappearing, at least from this country, and they're going to countries where people are paid cents on the hour versus dollars on the hour. We're also seeing computerization take jobs. We're also seeing automation take jobs. So what's the answer? It's that we need to teach people how to become re-employed, re-empowered through re-education. And so what I'm excited to share with you is an opportunity that we can re-employ our parishioners, fellow ministers. It is important that we teach people to get into the 1099 era. If you just take a few minutes of your precious time and look closely at what I'm about to share with you, it can change your life, your family's lives, and all the people that's saying, I need another job. And your response can now be, you need to be reemployed. Thank you. Welcome, and I'd like to thank all of you for coming out today and hearing about one of the fastest growing opportunities in the fastest growing industry today, and that is the essential services industry. Before I get into who I am, I just really want to share with you something that's absolutely great that's going on in this country, and that is the opportunity to reemploy and reempower yourself at a time when jobs are disappearing, jobs are going all over the world, but they're not growing in our country. So I really want to share with you an opportunity today that is really answering people's needs, answering people's concerns, but it's really helping people grow their income at an incredible rate. But before I get started, I want to tell you a little bit about myself. I've been involved with this company for over 7 years. I've been in this industry called direct marketing for over 18 years. Prior to that, I was with something called corporate America. Have anyone heard of corporate America? 17 years pursuing the American dream, but after a stress attack, I realized I was in the middle of the American nightmare because I kept working for a check that wasn't growing. And then when someone told me that there was a better way out, I was highly skeptical, bordering on cynical, because I never thought something different could work as well as corporate America, until I decided to really take a good look at it and research. And this is what I found, that if you can work for yourself versus working for someone else, you can break free financially, you can reduce your stress, and you can have something that we're all looking for called time freedom. How many people would like to have all three today? Well, pay close attention, because there's 5 things I want you to review. And if you look at anything else, please review them from these 5 points. Number 1, you want to be in a growing industry. You don't want to be in a dead or dying industry, correct? You want to be with a company that's well documented, that's really over 5 years old, because this way it's gotten past its 5-year curse, because most startups fall down within the first 5 years. You want to have a company that has services that are simple, because no one has time to go back to school to identify and learn about services. So you want a program that has services that make sense and that are duplicatable. Number 4, you want to have an income that will not make you more busy. How many of you are busy today? But you want an income that can really grow you a better way of living. And number 5, you want it to make sense, because if it can make sense, it can make dollars. So I like to introduce you to a program called 5 Links, but I really want to introduce you to the power of 5 Links. And the power is that you can re-employ yourself and re-empower yourself and break free on a part-time basis, or like some of us who decided to put all of our time in it so that we could own our time back. So what we're going to share with you just in a few minutes is how to change your life around. Is that okay? Yes. So let's get started. We're going to tell you a little bit about the 5 Links opportunity, but please pay close attention to what your goals may be. My goal personally as an ordained minister was to be able to finance my ministry without a salary from the church. And I have found that this opportunity can reemploy myself, but also reemploy people in the church and all around the community in the country. So please pay close attention because I know everybody has a why. A why is a goal. So let's take a look at some of the whys that's growing 5links from when I came in, when it was less than $1 million in revenue, to we're well on our way to a $1 billion company. And this is the reason why. Because people are looking for more time with your family. Would you agree to that?
Yes.
Okay. You would also want to diversify your income. Is that correct?
Yes.
How many people realize that one income does not make you independent? It makes you dependent on an income you cannot control.
That's correct.
Number 3, you want to pay off debt because America is so far in debt that people are working overtime. And I like to comically say, how can you do over your time? You want to pay off your college tuition and your kids' college tuition because the number one interest that we have now is our kids' college tuition. It's bigger than a credit card cost now. Lastly, we want to give more to charity and financial freedom. And I just want to take a point as a minister to talk about giving more to charity. The one thing that we're seeing at this time, for the first time ever in American history, we're seeing churches close. Most churches and charitable institutions live exclusively on the donations, particularly a church. It lives off its tithing and offering. So when people are unemployed or underemployed, tithing and offering goes down, and guess what happens to the church? So the church, we're really looking for an additional way to build income. But jobs are no longer helping us because jobs are disappearing. So if we can show you a way that you can give more to charity, more to your favorite institution, you can help your institution become financially free also. One of the number one things that churches want to do is pay off their debt. And we can help them do that. Is that a good thing?
Yes.
So with that, I introduced the 5links opportunity because what it is a company that's focusing on answering the why. We're built on 5 incredible principles. And when you look at our principles, this is the bloodline of 5links. 1, that we do have a vision. 2, that we built on integrity. 3, the opportunity. But the number one point for all of us is freedom. Everyone see freedom?
Yeah.
The company was formed in 2001, and over the past few years, we've been growing at 800%. We started growing at 800% around the year 2007. Guess what else showed up in the year 2007? The worst recession since the Great Depression. So how could a company be growing at over 800% when America's economic status is disappearing? Because Americans are looking for a plan B. And if they can find a well-represented plan B, people will respond to it. And 5links has proven itself to be one of the strongest plan B, and for many of us has become a plan A. Because of those 5 points, we are responding to building in a growing industry. We're responding to building a reputable company. We're responding to the need to have great services, which we'll tell you about in the next few minutes. But the 4th, we're responding to the need to building massive income on a part-time basis for anyone who's looking. So we're looking for people who are looking for us. Do you know anyone like that?
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. When I was in corporate America, I always understood that employees came last because the CEO came first. Imagine having a company that will not make a decision until the representatives agree. Would that be special?
Yes.
That is the nature of the 5links opportunity. And so as we look at our credibility, when I first got started with 5links, we had no credibility articles. But because we're helping so many people get reemployed, we started seeing documentation that's beating the conversation. So even if you don't believe, you can read about people, ordinary people making extraordinary income. One of the first articles that came out was this article from Direct Selling News talking about 5links had explosive technology. Now, we know video technology is just common today, but imagine being the first company to put a video system over a telephone line. It's absolutely special to be able to see my friends and family and enemies all over the world. So with that, 5links came on the scene, and then we really started to grow. And so we started seeing magazines like Your Business at Home. And we're seeing now numerous magazines coming out talking about ordinary people making extraordinary income because 5links is built on representatives. That's you and I coming first. But what we're most proud of recently, we've just been announced as the #1 fastest growing ranked company in Rochester, New York. Now, I don't know if you know anything about Rochester, New York, but it's a highly technical city. It's a city that's been built on technology. And for 5links to be listed as the fastest growing #1 company in Rochester is absolutely special. So could something be growing big and you not heard about it? Does it mean that it's not growing? It just means you haven't heard about it till now. So what I'm excited about is that we're looking for the future leaders that will be in our future magazines. If you know anyone that want to be massively successful, our next magazines are looking for you. Now, this particular page is so important because over the last 30 years, the largest transfer of wealth has occurred. Now, if you didn't know that, it was probably because you've been taught to be a consumer. Now, we've seen a lot of these consumer trends just mean that products have come and gone, but anyone who understood and were told to invest in these industries and had a business owner mindset made millions. And some of us have made billions by understanding I have to get ahead of a trend shift. So if you can just put on your business owner mindset just for a moment, I want you to take a look at this. In the 80s, some of us are around in the 80s. In the 80s, it was the growth of the PC industry, the personal computer industry. And I worked for a small company then called AT&T. And we thought the bigger the computer, the better. And we used to compete with companies like IBM, but there was a small company called Microsoft that had a leader named Bill Gates, and he believed that the smaller the computer, the better. Software was more important than hardware. And I believe that I'm doing this presentation today because I didn't follow him. I followed someone who had a poor vision. That's why vision is so important. But if you miss that economic trend shift, then in the mid-'80s became the deregulation of long distance. And I don't know if you knew about those times, but it was one of the greatest transfer of wealth during that period in the 80s. Matter of fact, there were two small companies that saw the opportunity to get ahead of the income shift, and they decided to get involved, and one was a small trucking company who today we know as MCI. And all they did was get in the right place at the right time, and they took action. But there was another small company that was called Southern Pacific Railroad. And they decided to get involved in this industry because they saw the income coming, and they changed their name. They just put international and took their initials and made it SPRINT. Now, we know that to be one of the biggest companies in the world today. But what did they really do? They got involved when the income was coming their way. And so please hold on to that because that's how wealth is built, by getting in at the right time. So if you miss those two income shifts, in the 90s came the cell phone industry. Now, I was one of the few people that had that brick phone in my car. It didn't work, but I looked good. But now we know today how small a cell phone is. As a matter of fact, everybody's walking around with one of those computers on their hip. But imagine if you were looking at this program some 20 years ago and we were one of the first companies to start off with cell phones. Would we be in the right place at the right time? Absolutely. Well, if you missed that, certainly you got involved with the internet industry in the mid-'90s. How many people heard of companies like Yahoo and Google? I heard about them when they started, but I thought Google was a disease and it was contagious, so I didn't want any of it. But when it became public, people understood why they should have gotten involved at the beginning. So we're saying if you miss those, you still have a chance because there's 3 wealth shifts going on right now that we have the opportunity to get in front of. Number 1 is the VoIP, voice over internet technology, and it just means digital dial tone, and video apps. Let me explain this. A few years ago, we saw television go from analog to digital. And if you still have an analog TV, it probably sounds like a radio about right now. It looks like a lot of snow on your screen because guess what? The entire world shifted over. Well, dial tone is now shifting over from analog to digital. Imagine 5 years from now, every dial tone is digital, and you got nothing from it because you didn't believe it would happen. Would that be a miss? Yes. Well, guess what? If we miss those, this is our opportunity right now. The second one is something that really blows my mind. It's called text marketing. Has anyone ever sent a text or received a text? Yes. Okay. Did you know that there are millions of dollars attached to the text? Watch this. 1 out of 12 will open up an email today, but 11 out of 12 will open up a text message within 5 minutes. When I'm in the church, I see people responding to their texts, and when we run up on them, they say, well, Pastor, we are reading the Bible. No, they are not. They just have that need to answer the text. So imagine if you had consumers and businesses actually offering services over the text. Now, I want to really talk to my ministers right now and our pastors. Imagine if you could send a text to your congregation within 5 seconds and they can receive it, and that will grow the church. Would that be strong? Let me give you another example. Imagine if we had a text donation where everyone that's watching the church on the internet, thousands watching on the internet, can send $10 to the church. would that now return income back to the church? And that's why every church needs to get into text marketing. But we can provide an opportunity for the church to get paid just on text marketing. That is linking the church to funds. But the last but not least industry is the energy industry. Everybody say energy. Energy. Let me tell you why I wanted you to say that. Because it's bigger than all of these shifts combined. And it's breaking up right now. The nation is breaking up the energy industries, but they're breaking them up one state at a time because every state is big as a country. So imagine you can get paid when the lights come on, when your stove comes on. I want to tell you tonight about a company that's actually not only allowing you to get paid on lights and gas, but has the opportunity to sign up a city. So imagine this, that when the sun goes down and the street lights come on, you're getting paid. Imagine your church getting paid as a church in a city because the lights just shifted over to your bank account. Is that okay? To your church account. This is absolutely powerful. We cannot miss this because when will be the day that you stop using lights and gas? When will be the day that you stop paying for lights and gas? When should be the day that you start getting paid on lights and gas? Today is the time. So with that in mind, let me tell you a little bit more about these industries. Number one, the telecom industry is one of the biggest industries in the world because we always use the dial tone. And I'll ask that question one last time. When will be the day that you stop making phone calls? So this is a bill we pay habitually, unconsciously, month after month after month. So 5LINX is specialized in bringing out a digital dial tone so that we can get paid on our dial tone. What's so big about that is that millions are making phone calls right now. Question for you, who do you know that owns a telephone company? Why not you? So with that in mind, by becoming a 5LINX independent agent, you can become a representative and then offer services to residential homes as well as commercial skyscrapers. But we have a video component to our dial tone that allows you to see anyone you're talking to. So imagine, as we know, other companies have gotten millions of services. We've all heard of Skype. Imagine Skype with a bank account. That's the 5LINX opportunity. And as big as this is, as I remind you again, it's all about energy. Catch this, it's the last regulated industry in the United States. There will not be another regulated industry. So if we miss this one, we missed it all. Please position yourself somehow in getting a piece of the energy industry because it is so key for the wealth shift. So if you want to position your family and your descendants, it is in this industry. 5LINX positions us not only in this industry, but in 11 other industries. And I want to share that with you right now. 5LINX allows us to build multiple streams of income. On Wall Street, there's a popular term called MSIs, multiple streams of income. So you're not dependent on one. Dependent on one, I like to say, is called a W-2. When you're independent is because you have multiple streams of income. So if we can position you with a 1099 and get paid in over 12 different industries, I like to look at this and say, we like to put 12 different bank accounts in your home. Is that okay? Yes. One being the cell phone division. We offer services from the top cell phone carriers, but while that's going on, we can also allow you to offer security systems. When the economy is bad, crime goes up, we need to secure our homes because sometimes you have enemies that want to break in. Sometimes you have friends and family that want to break in. So you want to make sure that you are protected from all. We have a special system that's digital that will actually tell you when the window's broken rather than a lot of noise. So this is a very special system. We also have over 48 carriers working with us for high-speed internet. But what are these? Multiple streams of income. Thank you. We also have credit card processing. Now, credit card processing have unusually bad high rates. So 5LINX, we've identified a partner that will give the lowest rates in the country, and we will give a guarantee of a low rate guarantee. So if someone decides to come on with our credit card processing company, they'll get great rates. We'll also put a percentage of the income into the Susan G. Komen Breast Cancer Research Fund. And we'll put the signage in the stores. But if they decide not to go with us, just because we analyze the bill, we will send that firm $250. Is that a good deal? Yeah. Okay. With that in mind, we also have Dish TV and Direct TV, residential and commercial. And please, as you're looking at this, remember MSIs. Okay. Then we also have 5LINX ID Guard. The #1 white collar crime in America is stealing of your identity. We had our identity stolen. If you're out there named Stacy Jones, we are looking for you because someone stole our identity before we had this and bought a Range Rover on our identity. And we're still trying to deal with that. For less than $16 a month, we could have protected ourselves. It is so important to have your identity, your only identity, protected. And then we have a few other industries, but the number one industry is what? All of them. Because these are multiple streams of income. So if you catch what 5 Links is doing, you don't have to depend on any one of them, but they're all growing. But they're not moving toward us if we're not connected to them. So with that in mind, I want to share with you how to be connected to 12 different industries. There are three ways that we offer income to the nation. Number one is our nonprofit way. And I really want to share this with you as a minister, is that we can reemploy nonprofit institutions through our income plan. And that is when a 501c3 organization, or an example, as a church comes in, we can bring a church in for free. Everybody say free.
Free.
And all the parishioners can try the company services. The church will get a website, or that nonprofit institution will get a website. And as the parishioners or the members come to the website and buy the services, each month that they pay the bills, the church will get paid. So imagine having a company that provides a monthly donation to your favorite institution. Now, I really want that to sink in, because how many of us know major companies that's not providing a monthly donation to the institution? But the services are in the church, so this is not new money. These monies are already in the church. We've just found a way to return the monies back into the church. That's what's so unique about our nonprofit plan. But we also have a commercial plan, so that if an individual comes in, you can sign up commercial companies. You can even sign up skyscrapers. And we have some representatives who are signing up multiple cities for our services. So there's a big opportunity there. But to be able to capture all of these services, we recommend you come in as a third strategy, which is our for-profit plan. How many would you like to hear about the for-profit plan?
Yeah.
Okay, because in the for-profit plan, you will get residuals from our nonprofit plan and our commercial plan. So we recommend that everyone, whether you're in a for-profit situation or nonprofit, you take our for-profit plan. And so we have different ways to pay in our for-profit plan. Number one, we want to make sure that you receive upfront income. We want to make sure there's a return on your investment. We like to call that ROIs, a return on your investment. That strategy is to do the two things that we do in this business. Number one, we help people save money, and we help people make money with services they have been using all of their lives. So the strategy is to make sure that you actually take the services that you may have in your home or in your church and put them in your own business. I like to say, if you owned a Burger King, you would probably no longer buy services from McDonald's. You may like McDonald's, but this is a business decision. So what you want to do is think about all the services that you're currently using that 5 Links now offers and switch them into your business. I personally, when my wife and I came in, had 14 services. And what we decided to do was get the other 6 from our family. So before we even got started, we had the 20 services that the company asked us to get. You can actually build a massively successful business with 20 to 25 services. So it must not be just about gathering services. So I want to give you this factor called multiplication. Everybody say multiplication.
Multiplication.
Comes from duplication.
Comes from duplication.
That's the plan. So our strategy is to teach you with our training program how to get 20 customer points. A customer point is not necessarily a service, because some of our services will have more than one customer point. But the goal within the first 30 days is to get 20 service points. And when you do that, the company will send you a check for $500. Doesn't sound like much, but a return on investment within 30 days will be one of the best investments you can make. Now, our goal is to show you how to create duplication through multiplication. So how many people know people that are looking for additional income, stressed out, or one-time freedom?
Yes.
How many people know people that live in your own house that look in the mirror and look just like you?
Yes.
Okay, so this is what I want you to do. Pay close attention to this strategy, because we're looking for 2 individuals that will partner with you, but start their own business, get positioned with a 1099 so that the company can help pay them and you for reducing the cost of services. Is that a good deal?
Yes.
Okay, if you can find 2, and I recommend you go talk to 20, and 2 will automatically show up. The company will pay you another $250 when they become qualified, and we'll explain that. So the company is trying to get to you $750 within the first 30 days. You can make more, but this is our goal because from here on in, we're going to duplicate this strategy. Now, this page is a very interesting page because when I first got into this industry, this page almost kept me out of this industry because I was trained to miss this page. But what I have found out that this page is what's taught in all the top business schools. I like to comically say that I went to school near Harvard. I missed it by about 100 miles. But in my school, they taught me how to be an accountant or a lawyer. But I do have a couple of friends who graduated from Harvard. And they are taught, many of them are taught in their business school with business studies on how to start a business, how to grow the business, and how to leave a legacy. And so I want to show you the business strategy that I had to learn after I came out of school. And one is that you can make good money by yourself, but there's a limit to how much you can make for yourself by yourself. But if you can create duplication and multiplication like a franchise type thought, we all know how franchises work, right? Some of the most successful franchises are not based on how many hamburgers they sell, it's based on how many franchises they have. So our strategy is to show you how to just start your own business opportunity, which is different from a franchise because there's no state franchise restrictions. But start your business and help a few people get started. So let's use the number called 3. If you found 3 others throughout the nation and help them get a few services, how many services are we looking at? About 20. So if you had 20 services, but you helped 3 individuals get 20 services apiece, totally that would be 60 services plus your 20 services for a total of 80 services. So you're accountable for 20, but you're getting paid on 80. Is that good?
Yes.
Absolutely. Now, what if we help the 3 get 3 representatives apiece? That would be now 9 representatives on your second generation. I like to show this graphically by saying you have kids and the kids have kids. Those would be your grandkids. So if on a second level, they got 3 representatives apiece and they all got 20 services, now we're talking about 180 services plus the 60, but how many are you holding on to? 20. So you're now receiving on over 200 services. You have a small telecom company. But all you did was bring in a few and maintain and help people get started. Eventually, this formula can grow to where there are tens of thousands of business reps all over the nation. Many of them don't know you, but they're connected to your start. So this business is about helping a few people get started. We have seen organizations get a few reps. We've seen organizations get thousands of reps. And it's all based on how you get started. So our goal is always to start you up right. Now imagine, I just want you to imagine this. Everybody can imagine tonight? Good. That you had a few reps and you actually had about 2,000 reps coming in your business. And they all got how many services apiece? 20. Okay, so that would be what? 2,000 times 20 would be about 40,000 services. So what if this company decided to pay you $1 on those 40,000 services? Do you pay your bills annually or do you pay your bills monthly? So that would be that on a monthly basis. How much would that be? 40,000 services times $1. 40,000 a month. Thank you. And you know what? Most people can't comprehend that. That's too much for people to think of. So we're going to make a very conservative example. Is that okay?
Yes.
Good. What if you just had 20 individuals come into your business and they maintain the company strategy of getting 20 billing customers and the company paid you conservatively just 50 cents per customer? Even though we have a product that will pay you up to $15, let's be very conservative tonight. That would be a whopping amount of $200 each and every month. Now, I know I didn't invite you here, and I know you wouldn't still be sitting here if the whole total purpose was to get $200 a month. But what if that came in and the word behind it was extra? What if next month it comes in extra? What if 10 months from now this continue to come in extra? Is that a good deal? Okay. What if you came to your job tomorrow and your check was short by $200? We would have an extra problem, wouldn't we? So this is extra, but here's what really turned me on about this particular strategy. I decided to calculate how much in the bank would I need as an asset to get $200 extra interest per month. And if you ever did that, you'll realize that this extra interest would be worth thousands of dollars in the bank. And so what we're doing is producing assets for people. Does that make sense? Because if it can make sense, it can make dollars. Now watch this. This formula almost kept me out of the industry because I thought this looked like, you know what, a pyramid. And so I stayed away from it. I was actually skeptical until a good friend of mine shared with me something special. This is called wholesale retail. Whenever you see trucks on the street and on the highway, they are participating in this wholesale retail. Let's say you own a farm and you grew potatoes, okay? Anyone ever had potato chips?
Yes.
Okay, now watch this. The farm grows the potatoes, sells the potatoes, did the farmer get paid? Trucker picks it up, takes it to the factory, did the trucker get paid?
Yes.
Okay, that's another generation. The factory turns it, puts some seasoning on it, and turn it into fancy fries. Did they get paid?
Yes.
Because they sold it to your supermarket. And the supermarket then does what? Pays the truckers again. How many generations are we now? Now you come in and you buy the potato chips. And you know what happened? You paid for all of these levels because you are the consumer, you're the retailer, and no one told us about the wholesale side. Now here's the question that I want you to really see. What if you got paid on one of those levels? What if you got paid on all of those levels? Will we now start seeing a bigger bank account?
Yes.
I almost missed this, but I decided to get in, and when I understood this formula, I understood this is the way you build legacy income. And if you ever read about leaving an inheritance to your kids' kids, this is the strategy. So with that in mind, rather than waiting for this to grow, we have a quick strategy, and that's called our weekly income. By getting you promoted to multiple positions, we know when you have a job, if you get promoted, you get excited. But sometimes you can't control the promotion. In our business, you control the promotions by promoting yourself. So you start off as an independent marketing rep, but then our goal is to get you to what we call executive training so we can add an additional income to what you're already making. What does that mean? When every time a representative comes into business and get qualified within 30 days, the company will pay you an additional $25. Let me clarify that. What if 10 representatives came to your business who became qualified and you were an executive trainer? You would make 25 times 10 even if you brought in one. Does that start to grow? But what if the next month 10 of them brought in 3 apiece? That would be 30 reps. And they got qualified. What just happened to your bank account? What did you do? You just helped a few people get started. But while that's happening, you can now promote yourself to executive director, where the company adds another $60 onto the $25 for a total of $85, and it gets paid the following week. So let's use that example again. Let's say over the next 30 days, 10 new representatives come in, get qualified, and you are an executive director, so you make $85 times 10 for helping a few get started, while you're still making the $25 for your previous organization. Is that a good deal? Are we starting to see multiple income streams?
Yes.
Now, what if the following month, those 10 representatives got 3 representatives apiece? That'd be 30 new representatives coming the following month who've gotten qualified, and you're getting paid $85 for helping them get started. And this goes, by the way, unlimited generations deep. That's like jumping off this table and never hitting bottom. It just continues to grow. Then you can become a national director. When you become a national director, we call that the decision position, because we looked at our 1099s a few years ago and we saw national directors making an annual income on a part-time basis because they're now making $140 per representative, unlimited levels deep, when a few people get qualified, while they're also still making the 85s and the 25s, and it shows up the following Friday on a Visa debit card. All of a sudden, you will never leave home without it. So these are what we call our warm-up positions, but then we want to introduce you to our executive positions that have a benefit plan. And when you have a benefit plan, which we're going to talk about in a minute, you start to see the real totality of the beauty of this company. Number one, when you get to senior vice president, we'll pay you $170, unlimited levels deep, while we're still paying the 140s and the 85s and the 25s the following Friday. Our goal is to get everyone to the top, because at the top, you get to platinum senior vice president, you get all the incomes. These are multiple income streams in addition to the monthly, and all this is showing up on a weekly basis. It's called Change Your Life Financially. Now, with that in mind, I do want to introduce you to the benefit program before we end, and that's called our Compensation Senior Vice President Plan. I want you to take a close look at this because we will give you 5,000 stock options. So the day we become public, and the company has announced that it will be going public in the next few years, you are now a shareholder as well as a business owner. So if you know recent openings, you know a company in massive growth can produce a nice stock option. You just have to have them. So we want to get you to senior vice president. We also want to give you the keys to a brand new BMW. You can get the 3 Series, the 5 Series, the 7 Series. Just get the series. And it just has to be silver. And on the back of them, they will customize it by putting 5 links on it. Then the company will give you additional bonuses. But what I love is that they'll take you and your significant other on an annual vacation. They've taken us to different countries. And I can tell you, because they pay for everything, all you have to do is get to the airport. If that person's not significant when they go, they better be significant when they come back. Because this is truly a vacation, not just a trip. And then you can qualify for an expense account. But the point is, you start changing your life at senior vice president. We have hundreds of senior vice presidents today, but we're looking for thousands more. Now, where we want to take you is a position called Platinum Senior Vice President, because this is the beginning of an incredible wealth life change. Now, the first thing they'll do is give you the Bentley and the payment. $4,000 a month, up to $4,000 a month. You pick the Bentley, the company will pay the payment. You get the keys, and they will pay the Bentley completely off. And I want you to catch this, guys, because after the Bentley is paid off, they keep paying you. Now, is that a good deal? Yeah. This is addition to everything else. It must be silver, and it will be customized with a 5 links plate on it. When you drive this down the street, you won't need to do a presentation. You just roll down the window and throw out apps all over the place. So why is the company doing this? Has anyone ever seen a pink Cadillac roll down the street? Yeah. What company is that? Okay. Now, you know what's so important about that? It means that that company really cares for its reps. People are doing well. The advertising work. This is just the advertising budget. They also have something very huge, and it's called a platinum pool. The platinum pool is a percentage of the reps and customers from all over the world coming in, but they feel that, look, you've helped the company so much, you should participate in a pool. This is like hitting the lottery on an annual basis. Our goal is to get everybody in the pool, because this is where you want to go swimming. Is that okay? Can you see yourself hitting the lottery every January? That's the platinum pool while you drive a nice car. They will also give you an incredible NFL ring that show you that you have a ride and you didn't have to take one hit. So we have a lot of fun with this position, but it's a very serious position because it says that you can make it to another level with a 1099. So with that in mind, I want to also take you to some people who have achieved it. Now, what you see are a few people that have achieved the platinum lifestyle, but most importantly, your picture is not there yet. So our goal is to make sure we have thousands of pictures over the next few years. 5 links cannot get to its place until we have thousands of pictures up here. How many people are looking for their picture? Now, there are 2 positions, but one that truly pays. One is a customer representative position that allows you to get paid on your personal customers. But remember, we said you only need to get a few customers. And if you only get a few customers, you'll probably only get a few dollars. Our goal is to show you how to override an entire international organization. And that's with the independent marketing representative, where you get paid on your services, you get paid on your own website, and we have some incredible services and products that are coming. You're now positioned, but what you see is that we pay you on your bonuses, and you get paid on your organization that can go unlimited levels deep. I've been able to trace my organization, and it's actually incredibly deep, but the reason why I can trace it is because the company will give you a website that report to you how big your organization is getting, and you get paid. So as this business grows, you are positioned to change your life. So how many people really want to change their life? Yes. Then this is what we need to do. We need to train you. We don't just put you in and leave you. We train you by giving you a personal training program. If you've never been trained, if you've never gone to a university, our goal is to take you to 5 Links University, where we give you full training and support. We give you your own personal website. You have a ton of business reporting, but you can build your business from the home and see the world. Our goal, and I want you to catch this picture, is to build a business where the sun will never set on your business. So while the sun is going up in the east, you're getting paid. When the sun is going up in the west, you're getting paid, all from your home, because you allowed us to train you. How many people want to be trained to build a multi-million-dollar business? Yes, that is the 5 Links opportunity. And so as we close this, if I would have stayed in corporate America, I probably wouldn't be here today because the stress was killing me. And I made one decision to get involved with a company that had a plan to change lives. Now, if you see yourself being a part of the company, then you need to make a decision and then identify how to build it after you get in. But we know whenever we do this business and we do this presentation, there's 3 types of people. One is the number 3 that says, it sounds good, Mr. Jones, it's not for me. And that's okay. We still love you, but every day is a great day to save foreign services, correct? The number 2 person is the person that says, you know what, I have some questions where we will stay around till the last question is answered. But the number 1 person, and how many people believe they're just number 1? Good. Well, the number 1 person says, I see it. I don't understand everything, but it's enough for me to get started because I know what I've been doing has not changed my life or my family life dramatically. Now, you may think that you can give away your job, but you can't inherit the future. With this, our goal is to position you to inherit the future. We believe for all ministers who are looking at this, that this is a strategy that can reemploy, re-empower through re-education. But we have to be courageous enough to take the step. Over the last 100 years, the shifts in the way we live, in the way we build, has been led by ministers. But we're missing this economic shift. So I'm talking to all ministers and pastors. Get involved in helping people become re-employed. We cannot miss on this one. It is absolutely critical that every person look at this, take a serious evaluation of how we can re-employ people. My time is up. Thank you for yours.